Hello, everyone. Joyce here with Empath Thriving again. Today I just want to talk to everyone, and this isn't necessarily just for people that are empathic specifically, but it does weigh on empaths as well. But I want to talk to you about some stuff because I've been doing some more research and this COVID-19 virus. I want to speak a little bit about that, and also a point that some people may be missing in this whole entire ordeal. So we have the symptoms of the COVID-19, which, as we all know, mimic a lot of other diseases and illnesses as well. But one thing that people don't realize is that it also mimics symptoms that your body goes through when you're going through a spiritual awakening or a spiritual transition as well. So when we're going through spiritual awakenings and spiritual transitions, our bodies also tend to get flu-like symptoms. We get headaches, dizziness, nausea, vomiting. Our sleep patterns are disruptive, and sometimes we feel a hell of a lot more tired than we normally would. Anyway, those of you that are afraid that your symptoms might be being induced by the virus, they may not be being induced by the virus at all, but putting you into a spiritual transition. And here is another thing that helps you to understand too more, that it may be more of a spiritual transition going on and waking people up across the planet and planet-wide more than ever. And here's the reason why that is absolutely 100% true in and of itself. You can do tons of research and you can find this data pretty much anywhere. But when the world shut down, literally from a virus, they started worldwide making people stay home in their houses and things like that. Well, what happens when the world slowed down is that, and everybody's locked up around the globe, is that yes, there was a lot of fear initially from it because of people are being afraid. Oh my gosh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want other people to die. But in that slowing down process, while we're sitting locked in our houses, it forced, and the governments didn't see this problem themselves. They didn't anticipate this being an outcome that would happen from it. But thankfully for us and the higher powers, it's a good thing that it's happening, because more and more truth is coming to light now, and more people are seeing what's really true and being able to distance themselves from the things that are being told to them that really aren't. But what it did was, while we're sitting locked down in our houses, it slowed us down as well. And when it slowed us down from the huge, busy world that everybody had come to be normal for their life, it made people start doing soul searching. People started learning about themselves more. They started reconnecting with their core morals, ethics, values, their desires, their wants, the things that are really, truly the most important to them. Now, when you get thrown into a situation that makes you do that, and it slows you down, and a lot of people, when they're going through in the past, when they go through a spiritual transition, it's because of some traumatic event like a car wreck or something else that ends up spiraling them to have to make shifts in their lives and wanting to make those shifts. But now, because of a virus that came and made the world shut down over it, it put us on a global scale to that spiritual awakening, because on a much more global scale, everybody together started reaching out to look for answers, but not just outside of themselves. They started searching inside of themselves as well. So this virus set the ground for a worldwide spiritual awakening to happen. And so a lot of people are going through that. I've had so many different people, oh, I don't know what's going on with me. I just feel so tired. I myself have felt tired and out of place and out of whack. But the reality of it is because we're all rising up. We're all leveling up. And it's not a bad thing. Just you're getting new knowledge and the old is falling away. And that puts us actually in a better spot with things that are going on the global scale and with the government and things like that, because now we're at a more stronger vantage point to be able to band together and see the real truths and the divisions that have been being spread in the name of globalization and other things like that have been politically dividing people, especially here in the US. It's really bad because we have people who are living in fear from being told so many lies about things that are going on, while at the same time constitutional rights are being violated. And people don't want to see that those are violated because they're so ingrained in the fear that has been generated from this that they don't want to see. But you have to ask yourself, if this was really just about a virus that's spreading across the globe, killing off tons and tons of people, then why is there so much conflicting information and data going on to it, and where it came from, how it got here? Also, why are there so many more world organizations and platforms coming up, shifting us globally? So really now you're in a spiritual awakening. It's not the virus helped it. Yeah, the virus is real, but it's no different than a flu or anything else. The reason it became such a big deal is because media pushed it to be a big deal for everybody. But when you start tearing away and looking at the data and statistics, really, it's no different than other diseases that were already here, killing millions of people every year to begin with. So, but the good things are that it brought us into a spiritual transitioning, and now everybody's starting to level up. So when we level up, we're at a stronger area that in our lives that we can now start banding together, because more and more people are starting to see that really we're not all that different. And when you take away being connected to people and being able to go see people and do the things that you're accustomed to doing in life, and then now you can't, you start seeing that we're so much more connected than we realize we are. Despite the differences that everyone has, we actually need each other. And this world, guys, wasn't built on these rich people that are trying to thwart everything. It was built on love and hard work of the small people. And those small people, you and me, we can do it again, but we've got to remember what's going on. And just like history has told us over and over and over, we can't trust the rich people to do it for us. We can't trust the government to tell us the truth. We've got to take those truths into our own hands, and we have to fight for what we believe in and what we feel is right in our core value. We've been conditioned to go against when our guts are telling us that stuff isn't right. we've been conditioned to not listen to that it's wrong. But the truth is that the creator, no matter who you consider as the creator, what you call them, the source, the ultimate source, they gave us a truth detector inside of us, and that's our guts. Our guts tell us what is right for us and what is wrong for us. And when something doesn't add up to us, our gut will twist up into knots and tell us that it's not right, that it's not correct. And that's what's supposed to be able to trigger us into searching for our own truth and things that relate to our own truth. And we have to walk in that truth. And that's one of the things that with the spiritual awakening that happens is you start finding your truth and what is right for you. And you start living in that truth and you become more grounded in that truth. And when you do that and you're more grounded in that truth, you're setting yourself up for allowing yourself to not only better yourself, but to help create a better world for other people too. Because we can't create something alone. We have to create it together. And when you're going through a spiritual awakening, that's another thing that you start learning about in your spiritual awakening, is that really the only real guiding law of this universe is love and unity. And think about it. If love and unity are what guide and control all good that's coming, it's also why it would be attacked more than anything else is. We are constantly being attacked to be divided because they don't want us to be together, because if we're together, we're stronger together. It's harder to conquer a force that's bigger than itself. And so this spiritual awakening is starting to show people what really actually matters the most. And when you really get into it, what really matters and what everybody really needs is love. We need love, period. We need to be spreading it. We need to be receiving it. We need to be joining hands and joining forces, because everything that exists in life was created out of some sort of love. People who build and create buildings, they fell in love with designing architect, and if they didn't have that love, they wouldn't have had that passion and that drive to create it. When you're creating a child, you're creating that child out of love. You can't create without love. And if there is no love, it destroys. And we've been living in a world where people and forces that have more power and control than we do, we've been giving them that power and control because we've been allowing them to take away that love. We've been letting them destroy us with negativity. We've been letting the lies seep in to cloud our truth from us. So it's love, guys. That's the real secret here. Love will beat the virus. Love will beat anything else as well. But we've got to have that love not only for other people, but we have to have it inside of ourselves. And we've been conditioned to not, because if we have that light shut off that love brings out, then we keep ourselves stuck. And we keep ourselves from moving forward and being the best us that we can be, which really, truly is a detriment to society and the world, because we were meant to create, we were meant to share love, we were meant to share our passions and our stories. And truth now gets pushed to the side, and we get told not to, like when people try to share that love. So stand strong in your convictions, and remember that this virus isn't just about being sick. This virus has put us in a spot that we can come out stronger and better, because it's also forcing us into a spiritual awakening as well. So don't be afraid and think that just because you're having these different symptoms and stuff going on, that it's because of the virus. I mean, being locked up causes depression, but depression also is what's known in the spiritual transitioning world as the dark night of the soul. It's because all the old that you thought was real is being stripped away, and the real and the truth and your truth is actually starting to be polished, to be revealed. And that can create a powerful force, and a powerful force for change, and it can take and tip the scales of what is bad and change it to good, because we don't really need to be divided. We're divided by lies that are being spread to us, that are being conditioned into our brains, and we don't need to allow ourselves to stay ingrained in that. When we switch that off and we take a break from all the media and noise going on inside, we start realizing how interconnected everyone is. And when we start regaining that connection with each other, and we start working together to and dropping those divides and those lies and those untruths, we become the ones that are more strong and more powerful, and together we can all be able to rise up to create a world that's better than the old normal was. That power is in our hands. We just have to choose to believe it. And in a spiritual awakening, it's helping you to realize those truths, and to be able to bring yourself to those realizations within yourself, on where you fit into the world, and how you yourself can contribute to making it a better place. And just like there's a song that Carrie Underwood sings, and in it, when you figure out that love is all that matters after all, it sure makes everything else seem so small. And honestly, there's no more truth than that. Love conquers all, and love is at the root of every spiritual transition. It takes you into love. So for those of you who are struggling with the dark night of the soul, and you've got unexplained things going on that you've never had go on before, I encourage you to really take a look at the different symptoms of spiritual awakenings, because I bet you're going to end up finding that that's exactly what you're going through, and it has nothing to do with the virus. And for those of you that are and already recognize it, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing the greatness that all of us together can bring out and give to the world. See you guys later. Love you all. Peace.